the
What of your
troll.
opinions?
What about my opinions? That's a very broad question.
I'm asking you to tell me one of your opinions about Donald Trump.
One of my opinions, sorry, I don't really
Yes.
necessarily deal in opinions. I mostly deal in facts. So, for example, I know for a fact when Donald Trump says, even today at the UN meeting, that he's ended 7 wars, that's an unequivocal lie.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Oh, okay.
Uh, what is another opinion you have?
Oh, that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Oh no, that's not. We're not arguing about that.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you
So
tell me
another
something you
fact
would like,
that I'm aware
something
of
negative you'd
is
like to say?
that
Because
Donald
all you've done
Trump.
is say negative things.
Oh, no, I'm telling facts. So Donald Trump tells the American people that it's the foreign country that pays the tariffs when he places them on other countries, when in fact it's the American importer, so the person that's bringing in the good from another country, and that's paying the 15% tariff that we have on the UK, Germany, France. When they're purchasing something and they're bringing it in, it's the American importer that's paying that 15% tariff to the American government. And another fact that I know is that he talks about all of these trade deals that he has negotiated, and we have no signed copies of any trade deals. And word of mouth deals can just be broken at any point. We already saw countries like kind of sort of try to back out of them already, and Donald Trump can't do anything
Oh,
because
you mean
he didn't
like
get him
North
inside.
Korea trying to back out of the, trying to back out and regain their nuclear power over the world? I know that's
North
not
Korea.
necessarily a deal that was brokered, but we see stuff like that happening as well.
Yeah, North Korea never signed on to a non-proliferation agreement.
I know.
Yeah. So that's again, that's not a deal, right? Because
I
if all we had
stated
was
that it
like
was
this
not a deal.
verbal agreement, then that's all it is. It's a verbal agreement that's usually not legally binding. And because other countries don't necessarily sue other countries, it's very rare for that to occur. That also goes along with that it's just a word of mouth agreement that doesn't do anything.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how do you feel about Donald Trump uh, speaking out on Charlie Kirk's assassination?
How do I feel? Well, I think it's very odd for any individual to turn a memorial service into a political rally. And then also to be the last person talking, it should have been Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica. It definitely should have been her to be the last person talking. And I
Wasn't
believe
she
that
the
Erica
first?
actually gave a very beautiful speech. I appreciate her and the words that she said and bringing up God and Christ and his mission and the mission that she believes God gave to Charlie. And I believe in all of that. No, Erica Kirk was second to last to speak. And I believe that the most powerful thing that she could have said throughout all of that was to talk about forgiveness, because that is a very Christian like thing. Unfortunately, when Donald Trump went up there after her, which they completely made it a political rally because they were selling MAGA merch at this memorial service, which again is so freaking odd. Donald Trump is the last speaker, and he says, Charlie Kirk didn't believe in hating people, but I'll be honest. I hate my enemies. I hate them. And promise
Is that a direct
vengeance on
quote?
all direct quote. Well, he did say, no, I am not doing it verbatim. I hope that helps.
Okay,
But he
so
did actually say, I hate my enemies. Sorry, Charlie, I can't agree with you. I hate my opponents.
sure, as many of us do.
No, I don't hate people. Hate
Many
is a very
many
strong
of us
word.
do.
In order for
Maybe you
me,
don't, but many of us actually do have distaste for our enemies.
oh, distaste is different from hate. See, hate is an extremely strong, powerful word. And in order for someone to really hate somebody, I believe that you must first have had to have the opposite, or at least had some kind of feelings of love for the individual as well. And since the love portion is not present in any part of that, I don't think hate is even the proper word to use, which is why I say that hate is a very strong word and we don't use that. At least I personally don't use it because it loses its meaning, similar enough to when you say "I love you" to somebody all the time, and or you say it to everybody and
Oh,
everything, that it loses its meaning to
so
other people as well.
like when the left calls every person they disagree with a Nazi, the word Nazi loses its meaning.
No, I mean, there is somebody that's actually, sitting up in the White House right now that also called people on the right Yahtzees. Sorry, you have to temper your language because TikTok is a sensitive child and doesn't like NAZI, so you can call them Yahtzees.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching you on YouTube. I didn't realize you were on TikTok.
Yeah, I stream it a lot of places.
But you have to agree that calling people such hateful words
I
is
don't think it's a good
detrimental
use
to
of the word.
society.
I don't think it's a good use of the word. I
I
would
agree
agree
with you.
with you
It's
there.
not a good use of the word.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's not a good use of the word. But
So
Donald
I
Trump
know
has
you're not
actually called
streaming
people
every
them.
single word we say.
No, just I know that's one specific word that TikTok doesn't like.
Right.
And actually, you
So,
are getting streamed every single word you said. Sorry,
oh,
let me be
really?
clear. Yeah,
Cool. I'm going to have to rewind this video and watch myself.
feel free, man.
So I'm sure you have other people you would like to talk to. So I'm going to jump off here and
Cool.
I'm going to rewind this watch.
Sounds good. Just so you know, part of it is going to be missing just because well, go watch you have to watch the landscape one.
Okay.
Okay. Cool beans.
Have a
Thanks.
great night.
You too.
Bye.
That was odd. It was very odd. I'm pretty sure I say rewind as well, Xennial, so I'll give him like a slight pass on that one. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yep.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Sorry, I don't talk to 18-year-olds. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
Hi, I'm 18.
I don't talk to 18-year-olds. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
I am.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, okay. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I did vote for him in the election. I did think he was a better option than Kamala Harris. However, I will agree with you that his recent rhetoric at the Charlie Kirk rally was very disappointing. I really did not like him spreading sort of hatred, and I think he probably is in the Epstein files.
I mean, yeah.
But I think the most important thing, and the reason why I voted for him, is because of the potential for the infringement of the freedom of speech that we have here. And I think with him recently doing the whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, that's kind of been revealing also that he doesn't care so much about that either. So I
It's
guess
not
I
even
probably don't support him.
It's not even what he did about Jimmy Kimmel or his veiled threat in regards to Jimmy Kimmel. It's the fact that he outwardly said he wanted to strip away the freedom of the press on speaking out negatively about him. He literally said he's going to go against his opponents for speaking negatively about him. Basically, he wants to censure individuals such as myself that just talk about what's actually happening.
And I think that's wrong. I completely agree with you. But I think
Yeah.
we can both agree on something else in that it's not only the right that has been sort of spreading that anti freedom of speech rhetoric.
Oh no, I agree. Like yes, there have been people on the left that do the same thing, and I don't think that they should, right? I would say the
Yeah,
most
and I
common thing that I hear is that hate speech is talking about hate speech. which again, if you incite violence or you use it to cause harm to somebody, then that hate speech is no longer protected free speech. And that's true based off of legal means.
I agree that like calls to violence, saying let's go out and do some sort of harm, that's terrible and that
Mhm.
is illegal. I'm pretty sure. But you could make an argument that misdefining people as fascists and then saying it's okay to punch fascists is also hate speech and leads to violence. However, I think that's protected under the First Amendment. Would you not agree?
No.
You wouldn't agree.
No, hate speech that leads to violence is not
So
protected by the First Amendment. There are literal laws in place.
who defines what hate speech is? Because I could say that
The law.
you calling me a fascist for voting for Trump, which I don't think I am,
No, I was very
is
clear.
hate
Just
speech.
saying, just calling someone fascist or racist or a Yahtzee or a communist, a radical individual, anything like that isn't hate speech. That's just an opinion, right? But when you're saying all so and so should be beaten, sorry, I'm not going to actually say the words.
No, I understand.
Then that is a call to violence. And as there are Supreme Court rulings that have already determined what is considered hate speech, violent rhetoric, right? That causes harm to a group of individuals, which is
Right.
why people can be charged with what are known as hate crimes as well.
Yes, I will agree with you on that. But I would say that, okay, what would you say is currently the problem with what Trump has said? Has Trump said anything like that, like we should go out and beat some sort of group of people? Is there anybody on the right that's doing that actively?
Hmm.
Because I haven't seen that, and it
You
seems like
haven't
it's kind of a
listened to Nancy
misattribution.
Mace.
No, I have not looked
You
into Nancy
haven't
Mace.
listened to I'm sorry. Brian Kilmeade,
I've never heard that name in my life. I'm pretty sure most
Stephen
Republicans have never
Miller,
heard that name. I've heard Stephen
Laura
Miller.
Loomer.
The only reason I know about Stephen Miller is because I saw him speak the other night. I'm sure that some right-wing people have said that stuff, but I think that the rhetoric, the inflammatory, and what you would consider hate speech, calls for violence, like active calls for violence against certain groups of people, is much
Mm-hmm.
more prevalent on the left side of the political spectrum right now than it is on the right, in vast
No,
quantities.
Nancy Mace was on national television when she said that we needed to go after the radical left, that they're all lunatics, and got insulted when something else was
Did
when
she
the
say we need to go and do violence against them, or did she say we need to go after? I mean, what is considered a call to violence?
going after them saying we need to go after them would be a call to violence or a call of
Well, I could
infringement at the
interpret.
very minimum, because I don't think you understand that again, the individual citizens are protected against the government infringing upon our freedom of speech, freedom of press. And so when Nancy Mace goes around saying that we need to go after the radical left, that's either a call for infringement or it's a call for violence. We had, God, what was that Republican senator's name that at a Trump rally said that was actually calling for fucking civil war?
I think that's
Like
terrible. That was
they've
happening.
also threatened. I'm sorry, I forgot about this. Right, is the fact that a lot of these individuals talked about this was going to end up as a civil war, which is a call to violence. Right, Brian Kilmeade, who is a host on Fox News, who did not get canceled, did not lose his job, and did not publicly apologize, put out a written apology on X, and that was it. He didn't say anything out loud. He literally said that there should be forced euthanasia on homeless individuals on
I feel like I
national
vaguely
television.
remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think that the rhetoric coming from angry individuals and people that want other people to be angry is
There are
been
actual
simply
neo
misspoken.
Yahtzee groups that are calling for violence against the left
If
after what
you,
happened to
but
Charlie
you must
Kirk.
admit, when you say you used an example earlier, you said telling people to go after the left was considered this
Either
sort of
a call for
inflammatory speech, right?
infringement or a call for violence.
Okay. Now, if we look at the time, especially on the left-wing media, leading up to the 2024 election, you have to admit, or at least concede slightly, that the rhetoric was incredibly inflammatory.
What did they say?
I could provide plenty of examples. If you gave me a few minutes and, let me email it, I know that's not something you're going to do on the show and you want to get to other callers. But there are countless examples you can go and look up. Just go look up media leading up to 2024 election on the left, and you will see countless examples of people saying, we need to go after these right-wing Yazidis and these fascists. I think a lot of people don't even know what a fascist is. It's just sort of a word that a dog whistle.
How do you feel about Donald Trump trying to make Antifa to be labeled as a domestic terrorist group?
I think it was probably a misattribution of what they are. I think that some of the individuals in it are bad actors. I think that the group probably has goals that are not aligned with democratic values. However, I don't think being against fascism is a bad thing. And I don't think that designating them as a terrorist organization was a good look for him. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Trump. If he's in the Epstein files, which I'm pretty sure he is, he needs to be put in jail for the rest of his life. But I will say I did vote for Trump over Kamala purely because I felt like my freedom.
The closest I can get to is Representative Adam Smith out of Washington saying Trump is moving a fascist direction and we need to stop him. Is the closest I can get to anything on what you're talking about.
Okay, well, if you can't find it, that's, in the few seconds you've done your research, I suppose. That's fine. But I think that the vast majority of people will have remembered their experiences and have seen it on TV themselves.
Sure.
And can understand.
And can you tell me who commits more political violence in our country, the left or the right?
So are you going to go to the ADL website?
Oh, no.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Define political violence and define right.
I'm sorry, define political violence. So, we'll talk about people being unalived by political opponents, right? We can say that, or just the political opposite on the other end of the spectrum, whichever way you want to say. Like
So
we
we're
can
talking
bring
about
up an
in the
example,
United
like,
States?
yeah, within the United States.
Well, I mean, we've seen several assassination attempts on Donald Trump. We've seen
Two.
Charlie Kirk get assassinated. I haven't heard of any prominent left-wing figures being assassinated
Oh,
recently.
you
Have
haven't?
you?
How about
No, I haven't.
how about the Democratic senator of Minnesota being killed in her home and her husband being killed and the dog being shot, and then that Republican that did that killing also went to another senator's home, shot him and his wife, right? Senator Hoffman, Senator Hortman is the woman that died. And sorry, this was just in May. Excuse me. Or sorry,
May
yeah,
of
this was
this
just
year?
May of this year.
A senator.
A
was
senator out of
attempted to be
Minnesota, a
assassinated.
state senator.
Democratic senator.
Yes, Senator Hortman, Melissa Hortman, out of Minnesota, was shot and killed in her home. Her husband was shot and killed, and then the person also killed the fucking dog, right? And then that same man, again, Republican, went to another one. His name is Hoffman, Senator Hoffman, then went and shot him, shot that man's wife. They both survived, but it was done by a Republican, a registered Republican. Okay. How about the fact that after Donald Trump and his Russia hoax shit talking about Obama has received death threats again from the MAGA movement, and Donald Trump still pulls away the Secret Service protecting him after Obama has received death threats from Donald Trump's followers. The attack on Nancy Pelosi, the attempted burning of Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania's house, while him and his family were still inside of the house this year.
Okay.
They caught the individuals and they were both on the rights.
You brought up some good points, and
Yeah.
so there's clearly political violence on both sides of the aisle, right?
Sorry,
And that's
just since 2020, so just in the last 5 years, the majority of the political violence has been from the right.
Okay.
And I do mean the majority, meaning
Now,
over
would you say
50%.
so? Okay. Now we can look at political violence purely against political figures, like these people you're talking about, or against Donald Trump, where he tried to get assassinated 3 times.
Oh,
or
see, I
Charlie
pulled
Kirk,
up
who
the
got shot in the
Cato
neck.
Institute because I know people are like going to argue about the ADL. So I like to go to Cato, which is technically right leaning because they're libertarian. So they did this literally the day after Charlie Kirk died, right? And so this is why I like going to them because they're at least going to be slightly less biased. And let's see what you guys assume the ADL is. I can also pull up an international study where they not only looked at the United States, but also looked at the entire world on which side was committing more violence, and it's still considered the right on the world stage, and then also in the United States as well. So, like, I've done my research. You're not gonna get me on a gotcha. Still, over
I'm not trying to.
50%, which is a majority, is committed by right extremists.
Okay.
Right wing extremists,
now,
right? And
that
even
may
the
be the
two
case.
men, let's be very clear, even the two men that took, like, especially the one, the guy that shot at, sorry, I don't like even bringing up their names anyways, but the guy that shot
It's
up
okay.
Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, was a registered Republican. He was a Republican, and even his family still says he had Republican views and ideology, right? The man also had a note, the kid also had a note saying that he was also planning to go after Joe Biden as well. But Donald Trump came to Butler first, okay? And then if you look at the man that just pled guilty today and is getting sentenced soon, right? From Florida, also a registered Republican who was supporting Nikki Haley. Even the attempts on Donald Trump's life were not done by leftists, they were done by extreme right wingers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think we can both agree.
Isn't that
I'm
funny?
look,
The
I'm
extreme
not
right
against
going
it. I
after
think
the
we
extreme
agree.
right.
I think we agree on a lot of things. I think there's probably very few things we disagree on. However, I don't think that this is a left-right problem. I think this is a media and an elite issue. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but just hear
You
me out for
voted
a
in
second.
the elitist. I don't want to hear it.
Both sides win. The elite win, and regardless of which side wins, right?
Uh-huh.
This is not an issue that is purely left or purely right. We both brought up examples of political violence enacted by
Nope, I
one
still
side
haven't heard of political violence enacted by someone that is known to be a left
Charlie
person.
Kirk's murder.
No, we still don't know if he was a leftist individual. He was a
Come on.
registered independent, didn't vote in the 2 elections. He could vote in 2022 or 2024. His registration was considered valid but inactive.
Let's not delude
Okay?
ourselves.
The only thing that his
Let's
parents had come
open
out and
our eyes.
said, the only thing that his parents had come out and said is that he was expressing very negative views specifically about Charlie Kirk the entire time, right? That's all that we know. We don't know that he's in fact, I'm not even in a party. I'm an unaffiliated voter. I've always been unaffiliated. I've never voted for a Republican president because the only options that I've really had are Donald Trump, and I laughed at Mitt Romney for his bullshit excuse of trying to tear apart the ACA when it was literally modeled after his fucking state, right? I laughed at Mitt Romney. I laughed in his fucking face, okay? So when my only options have been Trump and Mitt Romney, then yeah, I have never voted for a Republican president, but I have voted for Republicans to represent my states in Congress.
So I called here to identify the real issues of our country.
It doesn't sound like it. Bro, no,
look,
you're trying to deny everything,
I'm not trying to deny anything at all. I've agreed with you on a vast majority of things. How have I denied anything?
Mm-hmm.
I've agreed with you for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
No,
when the only thing that's reporting on like what's considered left about the individual that fucking assassinated Charlie Kirk is places like Newsmax, The Daily Beast, The Daily Wire, like literally bullshit publications. Again, he didn't even say that he was a leftist. All they say is that they assume that he had a trans. They can't even confirm that this person is actually trans. They're just like, it appeared to be a man transitioning to a woman, but never actually confirmed it with them. Yeah, we'll try anything. Oh, I'm not trying to blame a group. He was trying to say it's a both sides issue and failed to give any side on the left. Where's the both sides? You're good, Maylin. I'm still waiting for the both sides. Bill, I have a bone to pick with you. Also, you need to get started on the tubes. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
Doing well. How old are you?
I was born April 2nd, 1989.
Okay. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Oh, I never supported him. I just wanted to call in and say I appreciate what you do and I respect your honesty and you coming on and not being afraid to tell the truth.
I appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. You have a nice night.
You too. Bye. Bill, you became a member for Polly, but not me. That's the bone to pick. Sorry. Because TikTok is too expensive now. Thank you for calling the MAGA support hotline. Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
Awesome. And are you still supporting Donald Trump?
Yes.
All right. Are you willing and able to admit that Donald Trump is actively lying to you?
No.
No? Okay. Do you mind if I just do a quick PSA?
Wait, am I on air right now?
No.
Oh, okay, because I can't hear myself on. Sure, go ahead.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Really quick TikTok. I'm going to mute you for a second. I'm really bad at doing my own PSAs. I'm an hour and 38 minutes in and I haven't done one. Over on YouTube, friendly reminder, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button after you hit subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your alert so you know that when I go live. And we do have memberships and super chats available. I haven't seen a new member come in yet. If we can get 5 new members, that would be awesome. If not, that's okay. And then also over on Twitch, just also a reminder, don't forget to hit that. There we go, Bill. I'll congratulate you in a second. Don't forget to hit that follow button up at the top. Turn on your alerts so you know when I go live. And we do have subscription options available on Twitch as well. You can become a 1-month free subscriber on Twitch if you have Amazon Prime. Thank you, Bill, for becoming a member over on the tubes. That is the cheaper way to go, guys, right now because TikTok is greedy, apparently. And TikTok, let's go ahead and tap up the likes to 150,000. And if you're new here and you haven't hit that follow button yet, hit that follow button already. All right. So caller, you can't think of any lies that Donald Trump may or may not have told?
Not offhand.
Not offhand? Yes, Trey, he has. And okay. So, can you tell me who pays for tariffs?
I'm not exactly sure.
You're not okay. Well, Donald Trump says it's the foreign countries that pay for tariffs. Do you believe him?
Yeah, from what I understand is that the Chinese company or whatever foreign company has to pay the tariff, but they can pass it along to companies in America that are using those products.
Nope. There's really only one right answer to the question on who. So if we have a 30% tariff on imports coming out of China, the person that pays the tariffs, that 30% of the value to the United States government, is always the American importer. It's always the importing person or company.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not the best well-versed on tariffs, but
Okay.
I would imagine that person can just build those products in America rather than buying them from China.
Not all of them.
They can't build a
there is
factory?
no, I mean there are some things that we literally can't source in the United States of America.
Like rare minerals, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope we can work out a proper deal with these countries. I believe that's the goal with the tariffs. Is to have an even playing field when it comes to trade. I think we've been getting fleeced on trade for decades. At
We
least that's what I've
haven't
heard.
been. Can you tell me why Donald Trump put a 50% tariff on Brazil when we've always had a trade surplus with Brazil?
Not exactly what's going on with Brazil, honestly. I
See,
don't know
what
a lot about the
happened
whole tariff
was,
stuff.
is Donald Trump was upset that his friend, former President Bolsonaro out of Brazil, was going up on facing a jury trial for criminal charges of, oh gosh, he tried to do an insurrection in his country. Sorry. So they were putting him up on criminal charges in Brazil, and Donald Trump didn't like that. So he said, he literally put this out on his True Social. It was on multiple headlines of this as well, where he was calling on Brazil to stop pressing charges against former President Bolsonaro out of Brazil, or he was going to sanction Brazil and put tariffs on them upwards of 50%.
hmm Well, I believe that's the power that we have as the largest economy in the world. We can make whatever deal we want,
Why are
and we
we
can make everyone bend to
interfering
their
with
will.
why are we interfering with another country's court cases against a former leader that tried to overthrow the government and invalidate the results of the elections and also try to have his political opponent assassinated?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on in Brazil, but it must have some sort of benefit to the USA for us to
It
leverage deals
doesn't.
against them.
No, guess what? We put tariffs and sanctions on Brazil because they continue to try Bolsonaro, and they actually found him guilty, and now he's going to prison.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not sure exactly what's going on in Brazil. I'm not
I
really
don't
too versed on Brazilian
understand why
politics.
we should be using sanctions and or tariffs against other countries to suit the political motivations of a singular individual. Because again, putting tariffs on products coming out of Brazil that we have a trade surplus with, which means that we trade more to them than we buy from them, doesn't service the American people because now they'll just they'll probably just go back to buying more from China.
Or whatever they're doing to hurt
America.
America, they're not going to be able to do long.
They're
They
not
won't
doing
want to do
anything to
long
hurt
because
America.
they won't want to stop. They won't want to do business with us anymore if they're stuck in all those kind of tariffs. So they're going to bend to our will. That's just the way it works.
No, they're not doing anything like that. Like, in fact, even us having the tariffs when we went up to 145% on China didn't actually hurt China. China found different avenues to sell their product to. In fact, they didn't even see a decrease, they saw an increase on their sales. It's very interesting.
Mhm.
So, us
Well, if they would,
putting tariffs on other countries isn't harming
Mhm.
other countries, it's just hurting us. Oh, we didn't buy anything else additional from China, meaning our companies weren't able to sell as much on their shelves to their American consumers. China still
Mhm.
got a profit just from another country.
Well, they need to play fair. They need to have an even playing field. We need to make our deals with
What's
our
an even
tariffs.
playing field look like?
Honestly, no tariffs would be best for either sides. But if China's
Okay.
going to tariff
So
the
then
shit
that
out
should
of
have been
us,
the
and we don't do
agreement.
anything to them.
What was China's tariff prior to January 20th, 2025?
I don't know.
19%.
Okay.
We
Good.
had a 22% tariff on them already. Oh
Mhm.
no, not 22. I think it was 15%. So even then it was a very small difference of 4%. We weren't losing out on anything. Okay. And the other difference is that even then their tariffs were targeted on specific products that they can source within their own country. Similarly enough that the tariffs that we had placed on goods coming out of China were specific products like steel, for example, that we can also source here in the United States of America. And that's why we placed it on very specific products instead of doing a blanket tariff across all the countries. And then not only doing blanket tariffs, but removing the de minimis rule.
Mhm.
Which, see, the Dominicus rule allowed anything that was valued under $800 to come into the country tariff free. So that's completely gone now, which means an average consumer, anybody that like especially small businesses that don't de minimis. Sorry, thank you, Xennial. The de minimis rule. So small businesses that don't need to buy that much in bulk, so they can buy something for like $400 to help make their product here in America. That's going to negatively impact our small businesses even more than just the blanket tariffs that are already in existence. And we're going to see even more small businesses end up closing thanks to these tariffs. And we're already seeing an increase in corporate bankruptcies already as it is. Sorry,
So
business
there's a minimum.
bankruptcies as it is because of the
So there's a
tariffs.
minimum amount. Like, let's say I want to buy
No,
10
there is
pounds
no
of
minimum
coffee.
amount anymore. That's what I'm saying. Donald
Right.
Trump got rid of the minimum. The de minimis rule literally allowed anything valued under $800 to be exempt from tariffs on other countries.
Oh, that's great. I
No,
love it.
he did away with the rule.
Okay. So now there is a minimum. You
No,
cannot order
there
a
is
small
no
amount.
minimum.
Oh, great. Perfect. So that way a small business actually has an entryway to get in. They don't have to buy a minimum amount. It's good.
What do you think I just said the de minimis rule was?
Yeah, from my understanding, you're saying that there was rules saying that a business cannot buy such a small amount, but now they can.
No. That's not
Oh,
what I
right.
said.
Okay.
The de minimis rule said that if an importer was importing a good that was valued less than $800, it was exempt from the tariffs.
Okay.
Donald
It
Trump
was
did
exempt.
yes, exempt, meaning that they didn't have to pay that tariff fee, right, to the United States government. So now the de minimis rule has been done away with by Donald Trump, which means it's going to negatively impact small businesses because they typically don't need to buy as much as a large corporation would to get their products out on the shelf.
No, I completely understand what you're saying. Honestly, that does sound pretty negative. That prevents a barrier for small businesses, and that's what I'm all about, is knocking down barriers. So, you know, I'm not prepared to stand by every single thing that President Trump does, but I am totally prepared to stand by many things that he does.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah. Like, what do you think the punishment for illegal immigration should be? Because I think a lot of Democrats just believe there should be no punishment.
And thank you, Cassie, for the 100 for 2 joules. Sorry, for illegal immigration, what makes somebody an illegal immigrant?
When they come through and they're not allowed, when they just
And they're not
cross our border
allowed.
without filling any paperwork and come through completely unvetted. We don't know if they're terrorists. We don't know what they've done in their past
Oh.
country.
So I'm going to help you out with it, okay? So it's a civil misdemeanor to cross the border through a non-port of entry without sitting down and getting vetted by CBP, right? And it only has a civil penalty. So, and even then
Do
on
you
your
believe
first
it should be a
offense,
ticket?
it's not even really considered that it's deportable offense. So, because as defined in Arizona v. United States, the 2012 ruling, individuals that are considered deportable, they're not considered criminals. So, when you're saying, what do you think the punishment should be? Just send them back to their own country.
Go home, try again. Go home, fill out the paperwork, come back when you're ready.
Yeah. So why would they need an additional punishment?
Going home is what I believe in. I don't
No,
believe
you
in
just said that
necessarily
they
an additional
needed an
punishment.
additional punishment, and that's already the technical punishment as it is go back and try again.
Well, I don't believe it's a punishment to go home. I'm home right now, but a lot of people do believe that it's a punishment to be sent back home. So I guess if you view being sent back home as a punishment, that's what I view the punishment for illegal immigration to be.
You just said there needed to be an additional punishment.
I believe the only punishment should just be going home, if you view that as a punishment.
Then why is Donald Trump putting them in what would be equivalent of a concentration camp?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why they go there. They must be being held until they're finding their homeland, I imagine. I'm not sure exactly what goes on in those concentration camps. I know that, well, not concentration camps, jails. You broke the law and you're being held in jail until you're sent home.
Again, it's a civil, it's a misdemeanor offense. It's a finable offense. That's really it.
So you believe if someone comes through to America illegally, crosses the border, and they have perhaps a terrorist record,
Well, if
what
they
do you
had
think should
that, they
happen
would
to
be
them?
automatically deported. I don't think you understand this. So again, sure, if they were to get picked up and they were to then attempt to claim asylum, and we run the international background check and we find that they have a terrorist tie in France, okay? Then they would automatically be deported. I don't understand what your point is. Like that's all it would be, is deported. Don't try not to let them come back. But again, there are so many ways to get
Yeah.
into this country, especially through the northern border, but no one ever talks about that one.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Hmm.
I guess I just believe that someone should be checked out before they come to America. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
Someone could have
I have news for you,
Mhm.
and this might surprise you. That's always been the law. When they're stopped at a port of entry or through a non-port of entry, if they're stopped by CBP, all of them
Mhm.
have to be vetted before they're allowed into the country. I didn't know that was a new concept.
And you're saying that all legal, unvetted immigrants should be immediately deported. That's what you're saying.
No, I believe in mass amnesty.
That they should just get a court date and stay in America while they wait to be figured out.
No, I don't think you understand what amnesty is.
So catch and release, from what I understand, from the Joe Biden administration, you catch someone and then you just release them into the country unwillingly while
Sorry,
you
that
wait to
started
figure
under
out who they
Trump.
are.
I don't understand where you're coming from. That was a Trump era policy that's still in effect today.
But well, Donald Trump believes if you're caught at the border or caught within our country, to be sent directly home.
No, they were still doing catch and release at the start of his administration. And they did
Until they
catch and
changed it.
release in his first administration as well. That's why he really didn't have that many or that many deportations under his first administration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why he's
Until he
still
ended it.
lagging behind the Biden administration in deportations. So the only thing that people can really point to as far as how the Biden administration refocused their deportation policy at the beginning of his administration is to a memo that was put out by Mayorkas, who was the secretary or the head of the Department of Homeland Security at the time, is where he said instead of focusing on raiding places or going to people's homes, they wanted to specifically focus on immigrants that were here that committed and were convicted of crimes so they were convicted of committing a crime, and they wanted to deport them out of our prison system or even deport them before they ended up in a full blown prison after they've been convicted of a crime. So that's the only thing that anyone can point to, was the shift in direction at the very beginning of his administration, was that they focused on people that were actually criminals. But even
Okay.
then, like,
So
they
they are
still
actually
kept
criminals by
people.
crossing the border. It
No,
makes
they're
you
not.
criminal automatically.
Oh, no, they're not. Again, I just explained this. Do you believe in the power of the Supreme Court of the United States of America?
Of course.
Awesome. Arizona v. United States 2012 ruling determined that any individual that is considered deportable because being here illegally is a deportable offense is not considered to be a criminal. In order to be a criminal, by definition, since criminal is a legal term, you have to have been tried and convicted of a crime. So the majority of individuals that are being deported, that you are calling criminals, have not been convicted of any crime. And we know this. We have data that shows us they haven't even been accused of any crime, except for being a gang member, which again is not technically a crime, and it's not anything that's been proven in any court of law whatsoever. So that's still a lie that's being told. So it's important to know that the words that you're using have meaning and you're using them incorrectly. according to the United States Supreme Court in 2012, simply being considered deportable
Yeah.
is
Well, I
not,
mean, I believe that the
does not
power
make
of the
you a
Supreme
criminal.
Court should be enforced, even if I don't agree with their rulings. I mean, at one point, the Supreme Court said that babies could be murdered in several states in America. I agree that the power
Oh,
of the
again,
Supreme
I
Court
love
should be
this. I
enforced,
love this. So
but
hold on. You
I
want to go
don't
down that
agree with
route.
what
That's
they're
cool.
doing.
So again, I'm going to remind people that words have meaning. So the word that you used again is you use the word murder. Murder is actually a legal term. And you're missing a very important part of this is malicious afterthoughts. Can you tell me where the malicious afterthought of an abortion is?
Malicious afterthought. I'm not sure exactly
Aforethought.
what.
It's not afterthought. It's aforethought. I understand that words are hard. Can you tell me where the malicious part of an abortion is?
Yes, where you say that my life is going to be harder. I can't handle this because I'm lazy and I can't take responsibility
That's
for
not
my
malicious. Do
orgasms.
you know what
So I'm
malicious
going
is?
to end a human's life.
That's not what malicious is. Do you know what malicious is?
Malicious is choosing to go out to the club every weekend because you don't want to take care of your child, so you murder it.
Oh, that's not what malicious is. Can you tell me what malicious is?
Sounds pretty malicious to me.
That's not malicious. Enjoying your life is not malicious.
Enjoying your life.
Yeah. If you wanted to go out and dance, that's not malicious. My partner and I go out and dance sometimes. Does that make us malicious? We have sex. Does that make us malicious? The fact that if I were to get pregnant, I could have the option to have an abortion, that makes me malicious. Just the off chance that I could get pregnant, which by the way is less than 1% that I could. It's a very telling way that you don't understand words. And I would encourage you to not use words that you don't understand, because again, murder is a legal word. It's literally within it. It's the unlawful killing of somebody, right? So
Yeah.
murder is a legal term because it has the word unlawful within the definition of the word, which makes it again a legal term. And so the legal term of abortion as defined by the law requires malicious afterthought, and I understand that you don't know what malicious means. So we can help you out. Yeah. Actually, I don't even want to help you out because you don't understand anything. So
I think it's fairly malicious to murder your child when you could just
they're not murdering a
send up
child.
for
It's a
adoption
fetus. Sorry. No,
or
sir.
send
I
it
don't
to a
think you
cesarean
understand.
section.
Do you offer any I just want to be clear. Do you offer any exceptions to your abortion rhetoric?
Mother of the life, but that's really not an
Mother of
abortion.
the life? That's not even a
Or life of the
thing.
mother. You know, life of the
Oh.
mother, safety of the
So
mother.
just the life of the
Sounds
mother.
better
Well,
than
I
abortion.
actually, okay, I like this one a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna help you out with something. 100% of all pregnancies are 100% dangerous to a woman 100% of the time. So when we're talking about the life of the mother, I have news for you. A woman can have an abortion at any point during the pregnancy, up to the point of viability, at least in my opinion, up to the point of viability, because at that point, guess what? Up to that point, that pregnancy has the ability to harm the woman at any point and cause injury to her life that could potentially not be reversible at all. So there we go. Life of the mother. We've solved it. Problem solved. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dumbass. Sorry. This is why children shouldn't be speaking on this. Someone that has never touched a woman should not be speaking about abortion. Just saying. Sadiq, what are my thoughts on HB1 visas? So I agree with HB1 visas. They're absolutely necessary. The fact that Donald Trump is trying to add a $100,000 price tag to HB1 visas is absolutely fucking disgusting and stupid. I don't whatever. Thank you. I don't know how you're supposed to say. Oh, okay. Savage Games. Thank you. I've learned so many things watching you. Thank you for bearing with these idiots. You're a national treasure and low key baddie. Love from Texas. Thank you, Savage, for the 5. I appreciate that. I don't think I've gotten anything on any of the other colored apps, like the green app or the blue app today. I'm just double checking it real quick. I don't really care about leaving a review. Okay, nope, nothing since Wednesday. Just thought I'd check. Oh no, Fernando tells me to stop talking because I'm a commie trash. Can you tell me anything that I've said that's communist? What is communism? Do you happen to know that word? Hey, upon reflection, I have something else that's really going to break your mind. If you didn't understand anything that I just told the last guy, this is something that's really going to break your mind, okay? I'm going to blow your mind here, all right? 100% of all unwanted pregnancies are caused by men. Oh, this is funny. Guys, today I learned I'm a bot. Oh, Echo, I'm going to reiterate this for you. And I know so this is why I say that I'm blowing your mind or breaking your brain because you're not understanding what this means. Okay? 100% of all unwanted pregnancies are caused by men in their sperm. When you say it takes two to tango, and nowhere in my statement does that require consent. This statement requires consent. Now, see, I would love for you to try to tell me at what point of me consenting to the act of sex means that I consent to a biological process. Do you consent to getting into a car accident every time you you get in the car and drive? Do you consent to the fact that you might be killed when you walk out your door? Do you consent when you go to bed every night that you might not wake up in the morning? Um, do you consent to all of that? No, you don't. So here's what you don't understand. You don't consent to a biological process. Oh, Salvatore, does consent equal acceptance? Are those two the same things? Salvatore, can you tell me that? Is consent the same thing as acceptance? Xennial, I love you. Xennial, I can't put yours on the screen because obviously it's on TikTok. Do I consent to having a wife that's Italian and scares me? No. Just kidding, by the way. That's true too, Texas. Get a vasectomy, men, and you'll never get a woman pregnant. Well, there is a very slim possibility, like less than 1% chance. Less than 0.1%. Thanks, Bishop, for the 100 bits. Best decision. I know you've said that before. All right. Really quickly. Sorry, Bishop. Something I sort of disagree with. And I'm still like processing it, and also it's towards the end of my stream. That's why I wasn't taking another caller. I don't necessarily agree with that, Dawn. I don't even know what they're saying anymore. They say a bunch of crazy shit. Oh, Red, that's not my goal anymore. I'm ending. Anyways, guys. Really quick TikTok. Tap it up to 175,000 likes. I'm gonna mute for half a second. Oh. Okay. Bishop was saying this in reference to a car accident. In the legal world, we call it an assumption of risk. That's what I was saying. I couldn't like wrap my brain around it, I'm being honest. But we don't have an assumption of risk when we go to sleep or like, have the potential of being shot in our own homes. The assumption there is that we're safe in our own homes. So people still break in. It's all good, Bishop. Okay, really quickly, tiki-talkie. I'm going to mute for half a second. Thank you. Over on YouTube, over on Twitch. Guys, I'll be back on live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, just like I always do. Be sure to check back out on the stream. For those that missed the Joshes, it's being posted in an hour, 50 minutes. So be sure to go check back in on the Joshes, okay? But I will see you guys back on live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, all of the good things. Thank you. All right, sorry.